the whole situation, this all happened, has been going down for the last month, but it all kind of consolidated over the last 2 weeks. And then over the last 2 days, tons of updates. But it's the weekend now. I've got a lot of things that I'm able to clear up. I've been doing a lot of research, figuring things out. So let's go. First, let me make sure that everything is actually working correctly. Because that's kind of an important thing. I'm just kind of making sure that all the stuff that I'm doing right now is actually correct and working. Yes, it looks like it is. Perfect. All right. So first of all, some disclaimers. I'm not telling you to do anything. Don't listen to anything I have to say. Yes, I do have a Ph.D. It is not in finance. It is in tech. I'm a tech guy. So don't listen to anything I have to say. I don't know anything. I don't even trust myself. So first disclaimer. Secondly, I know I normally have a green screen. Not today. Just don't have it up. Why do I have sunglasses on? Because it's really bright in my office without my green screen right now, and it's just irritating my eyes. They're like watering like crazy when I talk into the camera, so I've got my sunglasses on. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about all the updates. So I've been doing update after update after update. The whole situation that's been going on. So to catch everyone up, the 2-minute overview of what's going on. If you're not familiar, there's a Reddit group, Wall Street Bets. You can see it up here right here on my screen. You can see we've got the Reddit group, Wall Street Bets up. I'm not logged in because y'all don't need to see my username. About, a long time ago, actually. It's been so long now. The whole group, really started with a couple people, but the whole group's been talking about getting in GameStop. And you've got to remember, when someone in the group says, hey, I think this is a good thing, this is GameStop, there are like 10 of those types of things to get into every single day on that Reddit forum. In fact, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, this guy was talking about how he lost his entire life savings by betting on gourds. Like gourd futures, and he had tried to convince us of that like a year ago. So there is like 10 things every day that someone says, hey, this seems like it could be a thing. I did believe that GameStop could be short squeezed, so I did purchase shares. Actually, on December 24th or 23rd, something like that, I purchased shares of GameStop. So yes, I've been reading this forum forever, and I want to clear up a few things that have happened over the last week. So first of all, as you know, GameStop has flown up. Everyone knows that. It's like up in crazy levels, right? But what does that really mean? So we've been waiting for people who have shorted the stock to either purchase their shares or close their position, which is going to shoot the stock up even way higher than it currently is. The problem is, when that started to happen, like it looked like the short was maybe starting to happen. We don't even know if it really even started yet. Basically what happened is that Robinhood on Thursday, when we all woke up, decided to shut GameStop buying down. Now you have to remember that it's not like it's just, one brokerage decides to shut down and that has this big impact. But basically what happened is we all woke up Thursday morning after an awesome day Wednesday. Everything that we've been talking about on Wall Street Bets for the last 2 months is up. AMC, Nokia, GameStop, pretty much BlackBerry even, which we're not even saying is a short squeeze. Everything was up Wednesday. So we wake up Thursday morning and everything is shut down. Basically the whole market. We could not purchase any shares. Now, what's the problem with this? So let's talk about it. So first of all, a lot of us think, there's some error. I had predictions that maybe their servers were down and all this stuff around like 8 a.m. I was on here talking, saying like servers were down, this and that. Because that's actually something that has happened in Robinhood a ton of other times. There have been so many times when like their website's just broken because they're terrible. And so I didn't think too much of it until we started to get more information. And basically what we found out is Robinhood picked all the meme stocks in Wall Street Bets and decided to make it so you could not buy them anymore. You could only sell them. So basically what they're essentially doing is forcing the price down, because that scares people and thinks I better get, and as soon as they see it start going down, more and more people are only selling and no one could buy it. So the stock could not possibly go up. Let's talk about the problems with this. So first of all, the first big problem is that what we come to find out happened because Webull and a few other places had to either shut down selling some of these stocks, is that there was an error in the, not an error, but the people who do the processing for these companies are the ones who actually decided to shut them down, which was Apex for Webull. And a few others like M1 was also Apex, I believe. So they had to shut down trading of GME because they said they didn't have the funds to keep floating the sales. So Apex shut down M1 and Webull because they did not have the funds to keep floating the sales. They couldn't afford it, essentially. This was a cash problem. Now, the interesting thing about Robinhood, and they were the first ones to shut it down, is that Robinhood doesn't go through Apex. Robinhood's actually its own clearinghouse. They do this themselves. They brag about how they do it themselves because it's so much better. So while Webull could say, hey, you know what? This is shut down, but this is beyond our control. It actually was. Webull could do nothing to get GME on the market on Thursday. It was beyond them. Now, we can be mad at Apex, and we should be for shutting it down. But we cannot be mad at Webull themselves. Maybe they picked a crappy clearinghouse. Okay, well, I'll give them that. They did. But we can't actually say, hey, they did this on purpose, because they didn't. Now, Robinhood, on the other hand, actually did do it on purpose. And Robinhood did it preemptively, as they told us, to protect us. That's what they said. So basically what the CEO said in his interview is that they did this preemptively to protect us. He also said that we basically, in not so many words, we're not smart enough to understand the back end of what's happening during a trade. Now, I have a Ph.D., so I'm pretty sure. I also have a doctoral minor in statistics. I'm pretty sure that I could figure out what's been going on if he can explain it. I'm pretty sure I could have got it. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that most of the people on Wall Street Bets, and most of the people that they say are millennials, guess what? They could all understand it too. We're not dumb. We could figure out. Don't say that we can't understand the back end of what happens during a stock trade. Yeah, we can figure it out. A lot of us on there I've been trading since 2001. A lot of us on there have been trading for a really long time. We have financial advisors on there. People know what's up. We could figure it out. Okay, so that was the next thing. Then he was specifically asked, was this because of a cash problem? He said, no, this was not because of a cash problem. This was not a liquidity problem. So what that means is he's telling us, hey, we actually had the cash to continue to do this. We just chose not to. Okay, it's like a big slap in the face, right? I mean, basically, that's what I'm getting here. So we come to find out later in the day. So two things basically came to light. So another thing that came to light throughout the day on Thursday was that we find out that Robinhood, the hedge fund that we are all rallying against on GameStop, the big hedge fund, Citron, they are, and there's a few others in there too. I happen to mention them. They own a big chunk of Robinhood. They have ownership in Robinhood. The people who we are rallying against on GameStop, the people who are literally losing billions of dollars, have ownership in Robinhood. Okay, so that's another one of the very large problems with this whole thing. The hedge funds that we're all rallying against own Robinhood. Okay, so that's a very large. So now we're seeing not only did Robinhood make it so that you couldn't buy these, now we have evidence that there's a very large conflict of interest there. Okay, so we got that going on. We got this conflict of interest happening. And let me actually, you know what, I can make my screen a little bigger for myself. Yeah, let's do that. So we know we got this large conflict of interest going on with Robinhood, okay? So we got a conflict of interest, bad stuff. What else do we find out throughout the day? What other stuff did we find out in the last day or two? So we got the conflict of interest. They told us what they were doing. So we also come to find out more and more about this situation. What happened next? Mysteriously, Robinhood gets $1 billion not loan, but they get $1 billion in cash, partial ownership more of their company. Someone gave them $1 billion. So they said they don't have a cash problem, so I don't know why they need $1 billion. So we're all trying to figure out what's going on at this point. Basically, so what happened? Let's talk about what happened. So Robinhood says, hey, we're going to bring these stocks back up tomorrow. So that's Thursday afternoon. Friday morning comes, we come to find out that we're limited in what we can buy. You can buy like 1 share of GameStop, and you can't buy fractional shares anymore. All kinds of things like that. They also ended up shutting down 50 stocks total yesterday, in addition to cryptocurrency. So now we've got major problems at Robinhood. I think Robinhood is going down. People have been, well, let's talk about what the reaction's been. But I think their company, I don't think they can handle what's going on. And I think they made a really big error on Thursday by shutting down these stocks. Their whole motto has been, hey, we are, you know, if I scroll here on Wall Street Bets, I'll find it. The whole tweet that Robinhood said, you know, which was basically, hey, you know, we are, you know, free to trade, let the people trade kind of thing. And that's totally not what they've been doing over the last 3 days. In fact, they've done so bad. Let's talk about all the reactions to all this. So essentially what they did is they single-handedly, because they have such a large market share, you have to remember, over 50% of Robinhood users own stock in GME, own GameStop stock. They are the powerhouse in trading for the people who are trading and causing GME to go up right now. So by them effectively making it so we could no longer purchase, they just shut the market down. We could only sell. They shot the stock down to help the shorts get out, help the hedge funds get out of the market, help their friends get out. That's what happened. Okay, so let's talk about, so obviously tons social media, the news, politicians. I mean, we got Donald Trump Jr., AOC, Ted Cruz, people who are extreme on both ends, all agreeing on the same issue. Something bad happened. So let's talk about some of the funny stuff coming out of this. So first of all, I'm reading about how the SEC isn't sure they can find market manipulation in what we've been doing at Wall Street Bets. That's not where the market manipulation is. I'm allowed to buy and sell whatever stock I want to. There's no insider information on there. There's nothing. There's a bunch of goofy people like myself posting crazy ideas, literally crazy ideas. We have people losing their life savings on there, betting everything. All of us know everything's a bad idea, probably, that we're investing in. It's no kind of organized group. It's not an organized group whatsoever. It's nothing. It's a bunch of random people on the internet trying to figure out how to hit the lottery. That's what Wall Street Bets is. A bunch of people who really don't have good ideas, all talking about how we can maybe do something. What are options? And there are, as I said, 10 different things come up a day, 10 different stocks. There's bots on there. There's people pushing all kinds of stuff. You got to weed through stuff to find out what you personally like. Find a deal that you think is good. All right, so let's just clear the air right there with that. Yeah, so there's that. And so let's talk about what people are doing. So let me tell you what I am doing, first of all. I personally have dropped Robinhood. I've already put in fortunately for me, all my stocks that I have, my short-term stocks, I got to put this piece of tape up on my little thing. So all my short-term stocks, I do not actually use Robinhood for. Robinhood, I haven't really used too much over the last year. I've really transitioned into Fidelity. So I've been using them for most of my trading. So all of like, now I've admitted I had GME. I sold GME when it was at $27 because I thought that was the pop. I was happy. I made 30%. I was like, I sold it. So I'm not even in GME, but I am in BlackBerry. I am in pretty much all the other meme stocks in there. But I've dropped Robinhood officially. I just transferred everything into Fidelity. I'm working on where I want to trade crypto from now on. I was looking at Webull, but for some reason my bank doesn't work with Webull. I signed up for an account and that didn't work, so I'm kind of out there. So I'm not using Webull. I'm looking at Binance right now, trying to figure out if that'll work. I think it will, but they look like a good option for my needs for crypto. You know, you have to kind of compare and contrast. There was a bunch of good companies out there that seemed like you could do crypto with them. So I'm going to switch to that. And that should solve all my needs. I mean, all my money's already in Fidelity anyway, so I can buy and sell through them no matter what. I'm all set up there. So I've got that going on. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm switching to Fidelity. I'm out. I'm done with like way done with Robinhood. This wasn't just the last straw. Like I've given Robinhood a lot of chances. They were down during significant trading days. They've done a lot of shady things in the business over the last few years. Just a lot. They've been down when people were trying to make big trades. They're just down, not working. You can't get on the phone, no one to call, nowhere else to make the trade. So that's all bad stuff. But what they did this week was bigger than a big train wreck. And you can't reverse what they've done. The damage that they caused on Thursday cannot be undone. It was huge. It was big enough to shut down their company. I believe it was big enough to pull the people who have money in their company, take all of the, I believe it's big enough to take that money, and I believe it's big enough to send people to jail. That's what happened on Thursday. That's how big it is. Now, let's talk about what everyone else is doing, and I'll talk about a little bit about what I think is going to happen. So I believe that a lot of people are leaving Robinhood right now. Now, some people are in it. So like if you have GME or one of those stocks and you leave Robinhood right now, you either have to sell your position of GME or pay a company like Fidelity or whoever you're going to use, and the stocks are going to get frozen. So until you want to close those positions out, hold on for now. So don't rush and do anything right this second because you don't want to, lose your stocks at this point. So maybe you're going to quit Robinhood in 3 weeks, but I don't think anyone should stay on there at this point after what they did on Thursday. I know I personally don't, and that's why I'm leaving. You make your own choice, but that's my personal gut feelings as this was really shady. This is bad stuff. I don't need to be a part of this. So I'm out of there. The other thing is some of these other places have better options. Like I can trade in pre-hours and just all kinds of stuff like that is so much better. So that's why I've been in Fidelity for the last year or two anyway. So, okay. So other things people are doing, they're leaving bad reviews of Robinhood on Apple and Google Play stores, which I think is hilarious and rightfully earned by Robinhood to have that happen. There are people filing lawsuits. People were trying to file lawsuits against Webull and stuff, but as I've explained, look, Webull was told by their clearinghouse they could no longer make these trades. There's nothing they could do about this on Thursday. Yes, they can go get a new clearinghouse now and stuff like that, but they didn't have control of the situation. Robinhood 100% actually did have control of the situation. They actually made the choice. They weren't told by a clearinghouse. It's not the same situation with Webull and Robinhood with what happened on Thursday. Not the same. If you look, Schwab and other places that have their own clearinghouse like Robinhood, they didn't have to shut down on Thursday. You know what they did? They made their margins a little different. They had to make a few adjustments, but they didn't have to shut down. Robinhood actually shut it down. So a big difference about what happened there. Not the same thing. So people are canceling their Robinhood, or they're going to cancel once this whole ordeal is done. They're going to pull their stocks somewhere else. A lot of people are figuring out where to go. They're leaving them bad reviews. They're filing lawsuits. I don't see how Robinhood's going to come. You can't, this isn't like a comeback. Like when you get in a car wreck, like you can't like, it's not like you hurt someone's feelings and you can make it up to them by apologizing and stuff. Like if I do something to my wife by accident, like I, wake her up, I can apologize and say, I'm sorry for waking you up. This isn't one of those situations. This is a car wreck with deadly consequences. You can't take that back. So I think Robinhood, I think they literally spent the last 5 years building up an awesome, what looked like a nice company, and destroyed it with one decision. No different than what happened with Enron. Enron was shut down because of an email. They made a poor choice, and they're going to have to live with the consequences. And I believe those consequences, I believe whenever a company does shady stuff like this, ever. Oh yeah, someone commented, Robinhood blocked a lot of non-meme stocks too. Absolutely. They went ahead and blocked 50 stocks yesterday. So they blocked a lot more. It wasn't just the meme stocks. They blocked a lot more yesterday, which is just craziness, which tells me that yesterday they were in trouble. It wasn't that they just messed up. They're in trouble right now. They're in financial trouble. It's just absolute craziness that they made the decision they did. And I'm still just in shock that they actually said that they did it to protect us. Like how is causing my stock to forcibly causing it to go down helping me in any way? I mean, it did help the people who own Robinhood. It did help the hedge funds that actually have ownership stake in Robinhood. And I love how I still can't believe he actually said there's a lot going on behind the scenes and people won't understand it. Dude, I have a Ph.D. I think I'm going to get it. I think I'm going to understand what you're actually saying. I think I can probably figure it out. So I thought that was hilarious. Like the whole telling me that I wouldn't understand it. I think 70 to 80%, I'm just making up a number, people on Wall Street Bets would 100% understand what he's saying. We're not beginner traders on there. A lot. I mean, there are a lot, especially in the last 2 weeks there are, because we've had 7 million new people or something crazy like that. I don't even know what the latest numbers are, but it's absolutely astounding how many people are on there now. Yes, maybe lots of them don't understand, but man, the guys that have been on there for a really long time, we know exactly how much we know. We know that investing is 100% gamble, like walking in and putting all my money on red. We understand that. Maybe we're trying to take calculated risks, but we all know that we can probably lose everything, especially because I see it happen on Wall Street Bets all the time. How many times have I seen someone post, hey, I put all my money on this, YOLO, and I lost it all? I see those stories on there all the time. We have people who have had to seek help on there because they're gambling addicts and all kinds of stuff, so we understand that. But what do I think should happen to Robinhood? And Apex, the company who shut down the back end for M1 Finance and Webull. So what do I think should happen to them when the SEC investigates? So first of all, just remember the SEC did not tell these companies to shut these stocks down. The SEC did not tell them to do this. They do have the authority to do that. And the only organization or group that can actually shut down stocks or stop trading is the New York Stock Exchange, who also did not shut these stocks down. So they didn't do it either. So just remember that. I think that's a point that needs to be made very clear, that the New York Stock Exchange shuts down stocks when there's things like fraud or crazy things happening that are going to destabilize the market. And none of that was happening. So just remember that. The other thing is that, so what do I think should happen to Robinhood and Apex? And possibly the hedge funds, if we can find that the hedge funds actually did communicate with Robinhood and tell them to do this, if we can find anything illegal there, let me tell you what I think should happen to all these people. So first of all 100% of the money that was lost by people and made by these companies because of this should be fined. At a minimum, it should be 100%. If not, like 200%. So that means for every dollar they took or made, they should be fined probably like 1.5 to 2 times that. I also believe anyone who directly knew what was happening should be going to prison. Do those two things, this stops it from happening in the future. Here's what's going to happen. No one's going to jail. Let's say that Robinhood, who got this $1 billion investment on Thursday night, they got $1 billion. Let's say they're fined $50 million, which sounds like a huge fine, right? Except when you get $1 billion, $50 million is nothing. It's literally nothing. 5%? So what? Oh no, not even 5%. Oh, 5%. Oh no, yeah, it is 5% actually. Yeah, 5%. Sorry, it's Saturday. Math is right now. So that's what's going to happen. They're going to get a fine that's not going to cover what it's going to be nothing. Oh yeah, and what they did, they gave their employees a gift certificate to DoorDash, for $30. I think it might have been like $40 or something. They gave their employees who were disgruntled about this whole situation a gift certificate to DoorDash. I mean, I'll tell you what, when I woke up Thursday and I still just I'm so livid and angry about what happened. It's just unbelievable to me. It's just unbelievable that it can happen in broad daylight. Everyone can see what's happening. There's no question about what happened. We watched it. There is zero excuse. If it was a financial problem that Robin had and Apex Clearing had, they could have come out. Robinhood could have 100% come out that morning and said, hey, there's a financial thing happening. We need money from our investors to cover what's happening right now. They did not do that. In fact, the CEO went on TV and 100% said this was not a financial decision. They had the money. This had nothing to do with it. So if he comes back and tries to say it is, we have the interview. I mean, he actually said, he was asked, was this a liquidity problem? No, this was not. Specifically said it. He said it was done to protect us, that we wouldn't understand the back end because we're too stupid, and it was not a liquidity problem. That's what he said. So there you go. I mean, that's the big, those are the updates. I mean, that's what's been going on with this. There's a lot. Now, I will say there's lots and lots of, what we said, whataboutisms, like people are claiming different things, and I'm seeing lots of claims. Wall Street Bets mods, you guys are doing awesome at not allowing a lot of those posts. Thank you for that. You guys are doing a good job of keeping misinformation out. But there is a lot of misinformation being spread around about what's happening, and for good reason, because we're all just researching and trying to find out what's happening. So that's going to happen until the air is cleared. But the stuff I've presented here right now are all the things that we know have happened. We're going to find out more about this, and this isn't going away. I mean, a lot of us are holding our stock right now. We're not selling. We didn't sell yesterday when it slowly went up in the morning, and then it dipped and then went back up again at the end of the day. We didn't sell. I'm not selling. A lot of people are also not. We're actually going to buy more. I'm figuring out how to buy more Monday. So, that's kind of where people are at. It's just a man, someone has got to pay for this, and it's not going to be us, and we're going to make it happen because there are enough of us. So first of all, people on Wall Street Bets, there are a few people saying, hey, should this be organized? And I really think those are bots, because no one from Wall Street Bets is saying Wall Street Bets should be organized. Look, do I think there should be some kind of organization? Yes, outside of Wall Street Bets. It's not taking place on this website, guys. It's not taking place here. This isn't the place for it. There needs to be a organization of people in government, some big people in business, and all the people who just lost money need to band together to force something to happen from this, so things like this do not continue to happen, because they have continued to happen since the 80s. It has went on and on and on. It became super apparent in 2008. Still, nothing. Nothing. Less than a handful of people went to jail for 2008. That's it. It was just an absolute crime. Should have never, ever, ever happened, and it did. And now they've been, guess what happened in 2008? Just some small fine slaps on the wrist. It's continuing to happen now. It's been happening. It's still happening. It's happening right now as we speak. And now it's so apparent that we need to do something about it. And that doing something about it is exactly what we're doing right now. We're figuring it all out, but it's happening. There is a movement. Media's onto it. Politicians are onto it. Let's figure it out, and hopefully we find something out. But, that's where we are right now. It's just infuriating that this is what's happening. I mean, I'm so angry about it. I just can't even believe, it's just crazy that this is allowed, that there's not pitchforks outside these people's houses. I mean, it's just crazy that this is allowed. I just can't even believe it. It's I want to call the police and say hey, this guy, this company just is robbing us. Can the police arrest them? That's what should happen. We should be able to call the police. The FBI should be investigating and going arresting these people right now. I know they can figure it all out. If you're not familiar with what the FBI does, most of what the FBI does is all financial. In fact, they have more accountants working there than anyone else. This is what they actually do, is investigate financial crimes. So go figure it out, FBI. Help us out. Go investigate this. It's worth an investigation to figure out what's happening. I don't trust the SEC for 1 second. I don't trust anyone working in financial regulation for 1 second. We need a third party that has no vested interest in it to go in and do it. All right, that's it from me for now. Later, guys. I'm going to post some of my older videos, just replay them a little bit today, just so people can go back and see all my updates and stuff. But yeah, that's hopefully we get some answers from this whole situation, right?